I'm going to tell you a story I call Thanks. I got roped in to volunteer a week, a precious time, to work with kids who'd been involved in drugs and gangs and crime. A group of inner city boys were sent to summer camp. Supposedly, we all would see their way of life revamp. My wife said I could learn a lot before the week was done. Our only child was a girl. We'd never had a son. These kids had anger in their eyes, mistrust and disrespect from broken and abusive homes and years of pure neglect. Just teaching them to pitch a tent or cook by open fire took all the patience that I had, because most showed no desire. Homemade tattoos adorned a boy, a way to demonstrate. Across the knuckles of his hands, right was love, left was hate. Said he didn't believe in God. Look out for number one. If you get dissed by someone else, you pop them with your gun. My wife was right. I learned a lot. Don't ever volunteer. These kids were all too gone to save, and that was loud and clear. The final day we spent in camp was bows and big canoes. I worked with them one-on-one, whatever sport they choose. To teach a kid to shoot a bow can make you come unglued, especially when he doesn't care and cops an attitude. With 7 homemade arrows lost, 3 others broke in 2, I said a prayer that God would let this trying day be through. My clothes and shoes were soaking wet, my patience growing slim. That little brat tipped my canoe and couldn't even swim. The thing that seemed to irk me most was not the childish pranks, but how I'd given all my time and never once heard thanks. I stowed my gear, hauled it home, complaining to my wife today would surely border on the worst day of my life. I never volunteered again. It was 13 years ago. Spent more time with my Colleen and watched my daughter grow. And then one day, she packed her bags. That girl was college bound. She tooted when she left the drive. I still recall that sound. A house without your kid around can sure get lonely quick. And then one night, the troopers came. I felt so weak and sick. They quickly said Colleen's okay, but all we seemed to know, she lost control. Went off a bridge some 30 feet below. An 18-wheeler saw the wreck and didn't hesitate. He jumped into the flooded stream, not worried about his fate. He dove and pulled your daughter free. She rose and fought for breath. But then the current caught the man and pulled him to his death. It seemed like time was just a blur till he was laid in state. My heart cried out to tell him thanks, but it was way too late. We drove up to the funeral home, Colleen, my wife and me, to view the man who'd risked his life to pull our daughter free. A young man lay with eyelids closed, as still as marble stone. The man who'd saved my daughter's life, the man who gave his own, he must have had a loving home, a dad he looked up to, and friends who'd come from far away to bid their champ adieu. But those who came to pay respects were few and far between. The ones I saw I recognized as friends of my Colleen. Then turning back to say a prayer and tell this lad goodbye, a photo on the casket seemed to catch my wandering eye. The photograph was wallet worn, the corners frayed and bent. A man and boy who held a bow and stood beside a tent. I recognized it right away. I'm stunned at what I see. The boy who tipped the big canoe. The other guy was me. This hero, who now lay in state, had caused me so much strife, yet wrote upon his photograph, the best day of my life. I puzzled at this twist of fate, mind filling in the blanks, and then his voice was loud and clear. I heard him saying, thanks.